Alright, so I just logged on for the morning. Look what's up there. We have some actual signs of life in the server for once. So let's go check that out real quick. See what's happening up there. Okay, here we are. Dang, this is looking nice. Got the foundation here. It's all on the tire too, dang. Now, I'm pretty sure, let me just check. Yeah, you can't actually build on the tire, which is why you had to build up so much. But look at all this. I mean, dang. I mean, I already knew he had a lot of stuff, but he's really been collecting. Of course, yeah. Welcome in to today's episode of UnGrounded. Today, I think it's finally time to start giving back to this community. So, I think we're going to finish up the zipline hub this episode. Well, at least finish up the bare bones of it. And, at the end of today's episode, I think we can go ahead and take on the Black Ant Lab to finally get the zipper. Here we have it. Finally, the base platform for our nice little zipline hub is finally done, and we can start actually setting up ziplines to all the places that we need it. Of course, the first place we're going to send it off to is Bounty's base over there, so we're going to set this one up here, and of course we'll make that as soon as we can. But today, it does look like we'll be getting the zippers, so we can finally actually get up here ourselves, because I've still never actually been here. We can get up here ourselves and actually use the zip lines to start traversing this world. But before we do any of that, we do have a lot of smaller projects to work on. Of course, I do have my little barge out in the middle of the pond. I do, in fact, have this little outpost here, which I want to keep building upon. And of course, we do need to create little baskets for everyone whenever they log in. The way I want to do it is I want to have a number of starter baskets so that when everyone jumps into the game, they can have a little bit of something to start them off with. So, let's start creating those today. So here we see our series of 8 baskets. That's how many I'm making. They might not all get used, but this is what they all need. They each need a set of fire ant armor, a rusty spear, just like I have, and tier 3 tools. Everybody's going to get one of these baskets at spawn over at the kids' case. Now we just got to fill them up. So I guess time to do that. all that work, and we've only gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different rusty spears. But that does mean we can, in fact, cross those out. So we're at least one step of the way here into getting ourselves these starting boxes. So next thing we have to do is, of course, get the rest of the spears, get the rest of the armor and the tools. As you can see over here, I have kind of set up a wall of different mounts that I'm going to be needing, and also the stuffed creatures that I need to finish all of this. Of course, we already used the dust mite one pretty heavily, and that's not going to stop because I'm pretty sure we're still going to need dust mite fuzz for the fire ant armor. So yeah, we got some lint, so that's of course always a good thing. We're going to need a lot more mandibles, and of course, yes, dust mite fuzz. So back to the grind for me, but I will in fact not bore you with another time lapse. So I'll just cut to whenever I have these filled out as much as I have them this episode. Don't expect them to be done. Alright, so we're going to take on the Black Ant Lab here in a couple of minutes, but I just want to highlight what we have done so far, because it is a decent amount of work. So, of course, here we have the first chest. Of course, I've been working more on the first one, working the least on the last one. They all have rusty spears, and they all have fire ant helmet. Most of them have the leg plates too, and a few of them already have the arm guards, along with these two already have a black ox hammer. So there is a lot of work that's gone into each of these. I'll just go through them. This is the first one. It's pretty nice. It only needs the axe. Same with this one. This one needs the hammer and the axe. This one needs the arm guards, hammer, and axe. This one needs arm guards, hammer, and axe. Arm guards, hammer, and axe. Arm guards, leg plates, hammer, and axe. And the same with this last one. So, of course, we are getting close to getting all of these done. These two only need one more piece, which we will, of course, be getting. Of course, I've been using this as kind of my hotspot to get all the buffs, so that it takes a little less time to grind for all of this fire ant armor. But with that, I think I'm going to go plug up the haze, and then we can go ahead and do the Black Ant Lab. So here we are at the top of the weed killer canister. Of course, we have a quick little burgle flag to raise before we can actually plug up the canister and turn the haze into a slightly more hospitable environment in exchange for maybe dealing with an infected wolf spider near our base. This will open up an entire new section of the yard for our exploration, and will allow us to do a lot of cool things in this area. But more importantly, it'll allow us to get to the Black Ant Hill without wearing a gas mask, which is just a little inconvenient. So that's what we're going to do real quick. So I could show you the entire hour worth of footage of doing this lab, but that wouldn't be the greatest. So why don't we wrap it all up in a nice little series of events to some nice, good music. And so we begin making our way through the last corridor of the lab until we can go and defeat the assistant manager. But before we do that, I of course waste my time with some tomfoolery. But that will really not lead anywhere because there is going to be a second cracked rock behind this one, and I didn't want to waste the last bomb I had or the last two bombs I had just in case something went wrong. So, of course, I'm going to continue on, and I'll see you guys at the fight. And here we are, ready to fight the assistant manager after we get ready at least a little bit, of course. Now, this fight does drag on for quite a while because of the way I personally like to play this fight. So, the footage will be either sped up or edited through a little bit, just for viewer enjoyment. Now, that being said, this is a very quintessential fight for us as a server. This will unlock the assistant manager keycard, which gives us access to a great number of new chips, of new items, of new upgrades, most importantly the zipper, but we'll be seeing that later. So, with that being said, let's start the fight. And with that, the assistant manager finally goes down, giving us access to his handy-dandy little key card. Using this, we can in fact get through these doors, and we can go up and grab the super chip that we oh so desire from this lab. So now, with the super chip in hand and a victory in our heart, we can sneak past this Orb Weaver Jr. and enter the Oak Lab with a gift for our friend Burgle. Now, this chip itself doesn't unlock very much for us as compared to the other chips. There's nothing really of note. We do get a lot of smithing upgrades, which is highly useful, but we could have gone without. So we will, of course, be able to walk over to the ASL terminal and buy that. But what we really want is behind the door, which has been locked by the assistant manager keycard for a while now. So we can make our way back through the Oak Lab, insert the duper disc, because I did completely forget about the zipper and the duper disc for a hot second, and signed off of Grounded. But I'm back, and now we can open these doors and finally get the zipper. This unlocks the ability to actually go up to our zipline hub, along with connect the entire world in a way I could only have dreamed of before. So let's go ahead and make our way over to the zip lines, and together we can make our first zipper ride.